All right. YouTube, TikTok, we are live wired. It is a confusing day in the ever-changing Carolinas. I woke up this morning and it was brick freezing, and I walked out here to do the stream today and it was a beautiful summer day. I walked out here, I had on 2 layers, a sweatshirt, a skull cap, because I had left the house this morning and it was freezing. And I walked out here and I was like, holy, it's a summer day. But that's what you get in the Carolinas. I'm still getting used to it, and all positive things. But today is a very, very big day, because as people celebrate Christmas Eve, as people celebrate New Year's Eve, today is Propaganda Eve. And I'm so excited. Tomorrow I am teaching Classical Learner's first ever live class for elementary school and middle school level learners, where we will be learning foundations of propaganda, a subject that I wanted to be my first class because I'm so passionate about, because I've spent the majority of my adult life studying the way the system operates, the way the levers of money are used to control institutions, and then the institutions set narratives, and the narratives are echoed by celebrities and alleged, leaders throughout our society. And it really is fascinating to see it all come together. And one of the best things we can do as parents is, we can't protect our children from everything. We can't shield them from the world. In fact, it's probably not good to shield them from the world too much. There has to be a balance. But what we can do is prepare children, or arm them with the armor, with the shield, with the weaponry, to protect themselves from the institutional manipulation that they will inevitably be exposed to throughout the course of their life. And, even the parent that really goes above and beyond to shield their children from this stuff, there's no getting away from it, because eventually they'll be a teenager and they'll go to their friend's house and their friend will absolutely love Jimmy Kimmel. And they'll go there and they'll put on Jimmy Kimmel and he'll cue the sad music and start calling you and your family all types of derogatory terms because you don't agree with the propaganda of the day. So today is the eve of a class that I will be teaching on propaganda. It's something that I am very, very, very excited about. Now, when you think about what's happening in these public schools, it's really bad, because children are basically taught memorization. And on top of being taught memorization, they're then being fed information to memorize information by ideologue teachers or extremists who have been put into place by politicians who are working at the Department of Education. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want Alexander Cortez deciding the curriculum that my child should be learning, especially when they're not being taught critical thinking. Looking forward to the class. Yes, very excited. Thank you for joining Homeschools Connected, and it's going to be a fun class. I was putting everything together last night, and I'm very excited about it. I'm going to push my ability I'm going to be an actor, and I'm going to put on a dramatic performance for the children. And it's going to be rooted in the Cubs to Bears children book series, and that spirit that we have the ability to create a universe, right? The same way Marvel creates a universe, the way DC creates a universe. Well, that's what I've been doing with the Cubs to Bears children book series, is creating an alternative universe, but rather than one built in lies and woke culture, one built in morality, designed to mirror what happens in the real world. And I'm just taking that a step further with the propaganda class I'm going to be teaching tomorrow. And it's something I'm so passionate about. And I think this is the beginning of, we've already been doing really good things with Homeschools Connected, Classical Learner. Homeschools Connected is my private community. But this is just the next step forward, right? This week we started rolling out original curriculum. The members of Homeschools Connected are doing a yearly unit plan focused in nature, in which children are going to learn critical thinking, skill development. They're going to gain their first entrepreneurial experience. And they're going to be doing that through that nature study, right? They're going to be tracking the sun, tracking the stars, understanding the seasons, when to plant crops. They're going to be doing construction and all these things that aren't done in the public school system. So a lot of good things are happening right now. And so last night I was putting together the first class, and it's a weekly class, and it's designed to teach children propaganda. And rather than lecture the children, I just thought, we're going to do something real. We're going to do something dramatic. We're going to do something entertaining. We're going to do something that they will never forget. And in doing it, we're going to not teach them that, you don't want to teach your children, oh, Anderson Cooper is a liar. Yeah, that doesn't help them, because there's a million Anderson Coopers in the sea, right? There's a million of them. You have to teach them how to identify the lies, how to identify the manipulation, and to understand the mechanisms which are the driving force behind that manipulation. So in the lesson plan, we're going to be learning, the first lesson I want the children to understand is how music can alter their perception, right? Music can affect our feelings, it can affect our mood, and it can alter our perception. And adults know this instinctively, but they don't recognize it. So when people turn on Netflix and they turn on these television shows, here's a great example. There's that show, You. I don't watch it because I think it's satanic, but I watched a couple of episodes of it just to see what it was about when it first came out, and I was like, I can't even try to get through this anymore to understand the propaganda. But when you watch a show like that, the primary character in the show is a serial killer, right? This is a bad human being. Or you know what? You know what show I watched that I'll use? Better example, Dexter, right? The primary character in that show is a serial killer, right? He's someone who is behaving in a way that we should all look down upon. It's a very bad way. And yeah, I know, I get it. They mask it that, oh, he's killing bad people. But what they do is they build a story around that. And then as he's doing things that are terrible, right, they'll put on music that actually makes you root for that bad behavior. And you see this in all types of shows where the characters are engaging in immoral behavior. They're doing things that if someone did anywhere else, in real life, you'd say this is terrible behavior, but they're putting in music that makes you root for them, and you find yourself rooting for this bad behavior. My wife likes the show, what show does she like? Money Heist, she likes to watch. I'm not so into these things. I don't like watching shows at all. But I saw she was watching this scene, and the main character was, he didn't like what the waitress said at a restaurant, and he just started throwing chairs and breaking glass and destroying this restaurant. And of course they had the nice music playing above, and you actually find yourself rooting for the character. Well, this is the type of manipulation, this is the type of propaganda that we can train our children from a young age to identify, because whether we like it or not, this is the type of propaganda that's used in their children's shows. This is the type of propaganda that's used in the music they listen to, right? Where the messaging is often immoral, satanic. The show I was talking about is Money Heist, right? So I put together this propaganda class, and so what I'm going to do tomorrow is I wrote out a whole script. Where do you get your unbiased news from? I don't think there is unbiased news. I try to do my reading, and I try to interpret the world as best I can. Yeah, no, that's nothing a child should be watching, for sure. So I'm going to come out tomorrow, and I wrote out an entire script. And the script is designed to mirror reality. So it's going to be, this is Liar reporting from the Daily Cat. Now, of course, the Daily Cat is a reference, but once the veil has been lifted and the spells have been broken, I do not enjoy the shows. Yeah, well, once you see it, you can't unsee it. But the Daily Cat, right, is a reference to the Cubs to Bears children book series, where Charisma Cat is the primary villain, right? Yeah, I definitely don't think you should be getting your news from NPR. the Daily Cat is the primary villain. Charisma Cat is the primary villain. So this will be Liar reporting from the Daily Cat. And I'll read out this entire script, this news report of the bears have been terrorizing the local fish population, terrorizing the local bee population. Sources close to the situation are saying that all of the animals in the forest are outraged, that they want the bears declawed, they want the bears disarmed, and yes, it's definitely up to the parents to make sure what your children are watching is appropriate. So this report that mirrors the type of report that comes out, in the real world, painting the bears in a very negative light. And then at the end of the report, I'm going to say, and we have breaking news footage of the bears. See, now it's raining. Remember I talked about the weather's been crazy? It was a freezing cold day this morning. Then I came out here and it was hot, and now it's raining. I even joked. I was like, I bet by the end of my stream there'll be a blizzard, and sure enough, it's raining on me now. So then I'm going to play this video I put together of a bear. And this is a bear going through nature, and I play a very powerful song, a war drum song. Dun 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 dun. And when you watch it, it's very menacing, it's very scary, it's suspenseful, it has you at the edge of your seat. Holy crap, North Carolina strikes. We gotta go inside, people. YouTube, TikTok, I gotta grab you both. We're going in. It's got crazy out here. It just got crazy out here. Bear with me. Man. Oh, man. Remember when I joked about that blizzard? It's pouring outside. Yep. All right, let's get you guys inside. All right. Sorry, I got two stands here, so bear with me. All right. Okay. You can see George Washington behind me. Okay, just gonna get you set up. TikTok, YouTube, get you guys set up. All right, is that better? Okay. All right, so where was I? Yeah, so I put together this video, and it's a bear going through the forest, going through the river, and it's playing the war drum song. It's dun 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 dun, and it's very suspenseful, and it has you at the edge of your seat. So after I go through this news report and I play this video, this live breaking video news footage of the bad bears, I ask the children to write down, to document how they feel about the situation. How did that make you feel? What are your thoughts about the bears, and what were you feeling when you were watching that video? And then that's when I walk out of the scene. Walk out of the scene. If I'm going to do it, I might as well demonstrate it. That's when I might as well demonstrate it. That's when I walk out of the scene. And I return as a different character, right? I return as someone else. And now I come in and really I'm really playing the role of that internet guy, right? And I'm saying, have you guys seen this breaking news report by the Daily Cat? The Daily Cat is at it again. And then I basically put on a live, quote unquote, YouTube performance by a truther type, right? And we break down line by line the news report that was given by the Daily Cat, right? So it would start with saying, all right, let's get into this news report by the Daily Cat. Sources say that the bears, sources say? Has the Daily Cat named any of these sources? Who says? And then we just go line by line. I have a whole script worked out where we break down that it's really all just hearsay, that the Daily Cat is saying these things, and they're saying that the bears are terrorizing the forest, and they're saying that the animals are outraged. Well, do they have any proof that the animals are outraged, right? Do they have any data? Do they have anything, right? And we just break it down line by line, and then after we do this breakdown of the Daily Cats report, we say, you know what? Let's watch that live breaking footage of the bears allegedly terrorizing the forest. Just, guys, I made one small change. And then I play the same video again. But when I play the same video, I overlay it with, I drop the suspenseful music and I overlay it with clown music. Do, 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 do. And a funny thing happens when you watch the video the second time with the clown music. It looks like a completely different video. In fact, what the bear's doing goes from scary to being adorable and hilarious, right? And then we have a discussion about what were your thoughts? How did the change of music make you feel about the video you just watched? How is it different than the original video that you viewed? Well, music can alter perception, right? And we'll talk about a variety of other topics that I have laid out. And then that's when I introduce myself. I'm Brett Pike, and this is the conclusion of the whole lesson. I'm Brett Pike, and I'm the author of the Cubs to Bears Children book series, and many of you have my books, and many of you have read my books already. The Right to Bear Arms, right? Free Speech and Social Media, You Know What. Context Matters. Yes, that would be a great, I could do a lot with that concept in terms of a children's book. There's so many good concepts I could interweave into children's literature. So I really enjoy doing it. Right? And then I'll say, so what is propaganda? Because we can't possibly understand it unless we define what it is. And then we'll go over the dictionary definition of propaganda. Then I'll further explain what propaganda is in more layman terms, because the dictionary definition could be a little complicated for young children, right? And after that, I have one final video prepared of a wolf in the woods. And it's a wolf going through the woods, and I basically give a narration over the video. And the narration is, imagine you were out playing in the woods, and there was a wolf. There was a wolf 100 feet away. Would you want to know it was there? Well, in real life, there are wolves, and understanding propaganda is how we identify them. And after we're done with this course, you will understand how to see the propaganda wolves so that they can never speak up on you, and so that you can never be tricked. You won't be manipulated. You won't be tricked. And that will be our introduction to propaganda, foundations of propaganda. And then next week, I'll be building on the lessons we learned this week. The week after that, I'll be building off the previous lessons. So we are taking a very complex concept. Thank you, darling.
Welcome.
You just made this?
Yep. They're granola bars.
Oh, it's delicious.
I know.
My wife is such a crusher.
Show them how cute it looks.
My wife just made this with the help of Brady. So that is the Foundations of Propaganda class that I have prepared for tomorrow, and I'll be doing it once weekly. Marine Princess wants them mailed, babe. Babe. Well, you know what? We might actually take you up on that. We might have to send you them. You'll say, send me your address in the Discord. We'll see if we can make that happen. So, I'll be teaching this class weekly. So all members of Homeschools Connected will have access. You can sign up for that at www.classicallearner.com. Yes, sign up today. I'm very excited. That's why I've been promoting so hard, because I want everyone signed up for the first class. So I'm very excited about it. Classicallearner.com. You'll see Homeschools Connected and just use the promotion code TOGETHER. It's $10 a month. Or you could take your $10 a month and you could spend it on Netflix and then just sit your children in front of Netflix and let them be propagandized. One or the other. I like that distinction. But yeah, I'm very excited about it. And like I said, members, you don't just get access to the class, you get access to my curriculum research, you get access to myself, you get access to the community. We started an annual unit plan. So I'll be delivering one unit plan. Really, it's an annual nature study, but I'll be delivering one unit plan. I already delivered the first one this week. Every week throughout all of 2022, with the focus on critical thinking, with the focus on skill development and entrepreneurial experience, right? Critical thinking, skill development, and entrepreneurial experience. ClassicalLearner.com. And the children will be learning about the sun and the stars, and developing skills like photography, videography, construction, planting, harvesting. And by the end of the year, probably midway through the year, our children will be getting, actually knowing myself probably more, but they'll be getting entrepreneurial experience interwoven directly into the unit study. So you're a bear? Oh yeah, I'm a bear. So, I didn't call it the Cubs to Bears series for nothing. So, that's what we're doing this year. And then on top of that, I'm also doing bonus lessons. So, for example, this morning, I delivered my first social studies lesson for the community. And it'll be one of many. And it's actually an annual lesson plan that the families will do every year with their children, right? So, sorry, one second. So the lesson plan involves them reading the primary writings of Benjamin Franklin, of George Washington, and then formulating their own, doing a project in which children think critically about what their virtues are, right? Because we want children to think about what their virtues are, what's important to them, what it means to be a good person, what it means to be a successful person. And then if you do that every year, Happy New Year to, I'm going to pronounce that wrong, but bear. Right? If you do this project every year from the time they're 5, 6, 7 years old, you could actually track how their virtues, what's important to them, has changed over the years. And of course, you're prompting them to think critically about, hey, what does it mean to be a good person? What does it mean to be virtuous? How do I want to carry myself throughout the world? So the things we're doing within Classical Learner, the things we're doing in Homeschools Connected are the type of lessons that your children will carry with them throughout the rest of their life. And this has been my life's work, and I'm taking my background as a historian, as a major in history education, with a master's in special education, with my experience in the field of education, starting a homeschool company, setting up people's homeschools, and we are taking it to another level where we are actually, now we're doing classes and we're building a community of like-minded people. We are putting together live classes for children, teaching them lessons that will protect them throughout the course of their lifetime, to understand the mechanisms of propaganda so that they can identify it when Anderson Cooper or whoever else, Jimmy Kimmel, you name them, whatever the propagandist is, doesn't matter. They can identify that propaganda. They have the tools to protect themselves. They're thinking critically about their virtues. They're learning skills, photography, videography, construction, engineering. They're getting entrepreneurial experience. This is what an education looks like. This is what I have been posting about every day for the last how many years. And I built a business on this. I built a life on this. And we're doing very positive things to change the world. And if this keeps going the way I see it going, because right now we're just at the curriculum development stage, which is the live classes and the curriculum development stage, right? Last year, I created the private community, Homeschools Connected. And that was a big step. The year before that, it was one-on-one parent consultations. Well, where are we going to be next year? Where are we going to be in 2 years, 3 years, building from this grassroots level? And I think the answer to that is, as we continue to grow, we're going to build community. We're going to have it where we could actually have meetups with people in the community. And we're going to have, I'm going to be able to bring people on eventually to help me with the curriculum development. And that's when I could really compound what I'm doing. And once I can do that, I could Netflix model an education that is based in red pilled, which is just out of this world. And right now it's $10 a month to get in. And if you get in at $10 a month, I never raise the price on you, ever. But for new members, next year, the year after that, it could certainly be more. So we're doing very positive things, and I hope you sign up for tomorrow, because we're gonna start teaching children how to understand propaganda. So let me know if you have any questions as it relates to what I'm talking about, as it relates to education in general, as it relates to your child, as it relates to homeschooling in general, or whatever it might be. But very positive things in the world. www.classicallearner.com. Homeschools Connected, promo code together. So is the class on the Discord. So I will be sending a private link within Homeschools Connected. And then that link will take the students to the class. So I'll have that, more information coming on that later today. And I'll send out the link tomorrow, probably at about 10:15 a.m. I'll send out the link, and 10:30 we'll get started with the first ever class, which I'm super excited about. So it's a big night, big day. I got to get my sleep, which I usually don't do, because I sleep for I think I've been sleeping for about 4, at most 5 hours a night, but probably about 4 hours, because I've been building stuff and pushing out or making content till about 3 a.m. every morning. And then, Nicole's the best, so sometimes I get to sleep to 8. But, with the children, it's even, you go to bed at 3:13 in the morning, 7:30, time to get up, time to start your day. That's a good question. Is the curriculum archived? Yeah, so the unit study is archived, and like I said, that's going to be part of the Classical Learner Library curriculum, right? All the lesson plans will be archived, and those will always be available to members of the community. And the propaganda class, I will be recording, so members of the community will always have access to that. And then what I'm going to do is, after I record all of the classes, I don't know how many classes it's going to be at this point, but it's going to be months worth of classes. Once I put everything together, I'm going to get it recorded, I'm going to edit it, and I'll probably package it where I make it available to the general public, but with the purpose of them showing them how much better it is to just get it for $10 a month in Homeschools Connected, rather than, I'll sell it to the public for like $49. So, whatever it is, something like that. But, so yes, it will be archived, and members of Homeschools Connected will always have access to everything I do for $10 a month. So that's a really cool thing, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, because education shouldn't be expensive, education should be affordable, education should be based, education should be red-pilled, and that's the type of energy we're bringing to the world. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I'm very excited about it. Like I said, let me know if you have any questions, and yeah. So I can use it for my 4th after I have it, laugh out loud. Oh, to God's ears. We need Marine Princess and all of the great mothers and fathers in this chat, in the community, to have as many children as possible, because, people complain about our culture is being replaced, right? Our culture is being replaced. They're letting in people from across the world. Well, how many children do you have, right? Because the truth about freedom is it doesn't come from the political class. Check my email. You'll love it. I have to check your email. I have to check all my emails, actually. So it's one of the many things I have to do that I always lag behind on. But yeah, people think their freedom comes from the political class. But like, the political class is controlled by the people trying to take your freedom, right? They're all funded by, you know who they're funded by. Just go to opensecrets.org. It's not hard to find. Right? And the people pushing this propaganda, so they want you complaining to their politicians. The way you win is you get back to tradition, you get back to morality. Marine Princess, I would love for you to be an admin. That would be, I'll set that up. That's a great idea. Right? Get back to morality. Follow God. Put family first. Be a husband. Be a wife. Right? Don't allow your family to be a broken family, because broken families breeds dependency on the government. It breeds dependency on the system. It breeds, narcotic use and all these different things. Be a good parent. Have lots of children. Be fruitful and multiply. Don't stop. Don't have 2 children. Don't have 3. Don't have 4. Have 5, 6, 7, 8 children. Homeschool them. Raise them right so they're not indoctrinated by the government's indoctrination camp. People spend all their energy. I'm going to wake up all these 35-year-olds who have been indoctrinated their entire life. Well, how about you stop letting them get indoctrinated in the first place, right? Because I'm a pretty clever guy, right? And if I was a bad guy and I was brought in by an emperor or a dictator and he said, all right, Brett, you've studied propaganda, you've studied culture, society. I need an obedient population. How do I get it? You know what I would tell him? I would say, take over the education system. That's how you get it. There's not one single act more effective at creating an obedient population than the education system. So why, oh why, are all these alleged freedom fighters out there fighting for you, well funded by people they would never tell you about? Why, oh why, oh why do they encourage people to send their children to the public school system? And why do they allow it to be what it is? Why do these right-wing politicians allow these alleged right-wing politicians that are allegedly fighting for you, why do they allow the education system to be what it is? Look at what they don't talk about, and that's where you discover truth. So homeschool your children. Educate them right. Yeah, there's a second option to join for $15 a month. So if you type in the promo code TOGETHER, that will make it $10 a month forever. So when it says $5 off, that's $5 off every month forever. So use the promo code TOGETHER. It slowly became the norm, and now people are afraid to push back now. Yeah, and that's what's needed, right? So we need to push back against that education system. And although we can do that, the best way to do it is to homeschool our many children, right? So you have lots of children. You homeschool your children. And by the way, whether you have 1 child or 10 children, it's just the $10 a month. It's not per child. So you homeschool your children. What are you laughing at?
This thing's going through my mind. We're like, we need to push back, and I'm over here like, we should push them out like a poop. Like the turds that they are.
Push them out like the turds that they are, as my wife says.
For behind the TV.
Struggling, but my child is worth it. That's fantastic. I took my son out of the so-called Christian school. I have 5 and I want more. Have 5 more. We need more of you in the world. Notclassicallearner.org, www.classicallearner.com. The people are saying amen. Amen, girl. Turds, all of them.
You think you're funny. I'm hysterical.
My wife says she's hilarious. So yeah, we homeschool. We have lots of children. We homeschool them. We teach them their rights. We learn our rights and how to defend our rights. Did you know that when you go to a court and you hire an attorney, you are legally designated as an imbecile? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm an imbecile. Like, I can't defend myself in court right now. I'm not knowledgeable enough. But the court system legally defines you as an imbecile for hiring an attorney. Well, when Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin and all these people were around, right? They learned how to defend themselves legally. They understood their rights. But we can teach our children their rights. We can teach children financial literacy. We can get them entrepreneurial experience. We can let them grow up in an entrepreneurial culture. They can see us doing business, right? They can see us doing business. They can see us hiring our friends and having like-minded people around us. Valuing community. So go to your neighbor's house and invite them over for dinner and have chickens and bring them free eggs because they'll love you for it, right? Bring them free eggs and build community. Right? This is how you win, right? Politics isn't how you win. I mean, you had right-wing America, right? To much of right-wing America, Trump was like, that was their guy, right? That was their savior. Well, what did he bring in? Communism, right? So politics is never the answer because they want you to think that's where your power is. But your power is what you do in your daily life. Your power is how you live your life. Your power is how you honor your family. Your power is how you treat your community. Your power is how you raise your children. Your power is your discipline, your ability to stay out of debt so that they can't use financial leverage over you, so that your employer can't tell you that if you don't get this procedure, right, you don't go for something that you don't want, then they could take away your ability to earn a living, but you have to pay that mortgage, right? This is what they don't want you to understand, where your power is. Because whether it's the best politician in the world, even if he has the best intentions in the world, it is a conglomerate. And the system has been structured and contorted in a way where even if the best politician ever were to come into power, it doesn't matter. He wouldn't have the ability to stop what they're trying to do. The only thing that could stop the agenda of the people that attempt to influence society, or, I like the term leveragers, the people that leverage control over society. So even if you elect a politician who's against the agenda of these leveragers, these people at the top who use their money to try to control society, well, it doesn't matter. They can't stop it. But what can stop it is the way we live. And, that's what I try to preach on here every day. And, that's how we win. And that's what most of these mainstream people won't tell you, either because they're paid not to tell you or because it's just outside of their strain of consciousness, right? But the more we get back to grassroots change, like homeschooling right now in America, 2 years ago, there were 3 million homeschoolers in America. Right now, there are over 11 million, which means the modern homeschool movement is the most powerful, fastest growing, organic grassroots freedom movement in modern American history. People are taking their power back. All right, guys, www.classicallearner.com. Homeschools Connect. Let me just answer your questions. Yeah, Marine Princess just crushes the trolls. I've had like these group of trolls like stalking me lately, so I don't even tolerate it anymore. Marine Princess she takes them out. Yes, it's Homeschools Connected. You could find it at www.classicallearner.com, and I'll be sending the link for the propaganda class tomorrow at 10:15 a.m., and the class starts at 10:30, so I'm very excited about it. I'm still working out which link I want to send because I could do it a few ways, but I'm very excited about the class, and it's going to be awesome. Oh, yeah, and my books. When you get the books, the Cubs to Bears books, I made little curriculums that go with them, so they just reinforce the lessons in the book. Trying to figure out where to start with my son. Well, the first thing you should do is just look into unschooling, Charlotte Mason, classical education, and Montessori. Understand those different methodologies of homeschooling, and then you can better structure, how you want your homeschool to be. You were so ready. The pump dance was funny. Thank you. Thank you. Say I'm funny too. All right. Also, my... No, you're not. Also, my daughter unschooling her on our time since her dad won't let me take her out of school. Yeah, well, that's tough with when your spouse is in disagreement. So, all right, guys. Like I said, classicallearner.com, Homeschools Connected. Use the promotion code TOGETHER, and when you use that, it's $10 a month, and I never raise the price. Classical Learner on Instagram, Classical Learner on YouTube, Classical Learner on everything you could imagine, Classical Learner on Beartaria Times, Classical Learner on Gab. So check that stuff out. And how do you unschool? You follow the interest of your child. So, if your child says they're interested in volcanoes, just start studying volcanoes. Start doing research on volcanoes. Start making your own science project with volcanoes. And then just follow the interest of your child and then use that to start getting them some entrepreneurial experience or develop skills. So like if your child likes the volcanoes, you can be like, hey, this is cool. We can develop a website, and like you show them how to make their own website, and they can make a website that they put all this information about volcanoes in. You would say, hey, let's learn how to do art. They could do artwork about volcanoes, upload it to their website. So it's just unschooling is just following the interest of your child and using it to teach them the skills you want them to learn, to get them the experience you want them to get it in a way that they look forward to, in a way that's fun, in a way that you don't have to fight them because it's what they want to do. And you just really have to serve as that guide. I say, hey, you know, you can do this, you can do that.
It's an Italian goodbye.
Italian goodbye? Yeah, I'm Italian.
That's why I said it.
I'm Italian.
I'm Italian too.
My kids have different dads. My son's dad is my fiance. We are on the same page. Yeah, I mean, that divorce stuff is really tough because I see it all the time. People ask me, they're like, my divorce, my ex doesn't want me to homeschool. I'm like, the best thing I say you could do is try to reach out, do an olive branch, develop a strong relationship with each other outside of your marriage, and then maybe come to terms with something. My son is with my ex, and I have 2 with my husband, and 3 soon. 3 soon. All right, guys. ClassicalLearner.com, Homeschools Connected, promo code together, www.classicallearner.com, and freedom isn't free. We have to earn it every day, and I will be back. Do I have to enroll my son in homeschooling every year? I don't believe so, but check with hslda.org because every state has different laws. hslda.org, they have a map with the laws in your state, so just check that out. We plan on getting pregnant in 1 year and 8 months. All right, well, I'm excited about it. All right, hopefully I'll be following suit. You're my soul sister. God is good. God is great. All right, guys. Freedom isn't free. We have to earn it every day. And I will be back to report on how the class went tomorrow and to earn it. All right, guys. God bless.